Hello, it's AlinaGG, and welcome to Love Magic Miracles. And today I have a special guest for you. I have Jules Bradford. She is an intuitive business strategist, and we're going to talk about energetics and entrepreneurship. So, welcome aboard.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on your show. I'm so excited to talk about this with you.
Yeah, I'm excited too. I feel like there's so much content there that feels really authentic and really aligned. So I know a lot of people are going to get a lot out of this conversation. Yeah. So, what brought you to this type of work anyway? Have you been on this kind of journey for a long time?
Yes, I think that it's one of those things in life that you can't really ignore that just pulls you in. I have a traditional marketing background, and when I tried to create a business for myself, it was like everything I knew and learned just didn't work. Um, and it's what I help other people with. You're looking at the strategies and things that people are teaching, like these one size fits all, and what's this person been doing to be successful, and what is this person, and nothing worked. And so I've kind of gone through like ebbs and flows of like masculine, feminine energy. And I just recently went through two pregnancies, and so I was like very much in my feminine flow, and really tapped into that intuitive part of me, and really just realized that really everything had to come within, like every single piece. So it's been a
Wow.
process. And
Yeah. Yeah. It is, isn't it? Like the integration of the masculine and feminine and knowing when to
yeah,
rest, knowing when to be, and knowing when to take aligned action. How do what works for you when you decipher those things?
I think really just tuning into my body and my gut, and really knowing, I know if I'm confused, it's in the head, and that I need to just go for a walk, or just letting things flow, and letting business and commerce, the way that we're showing up online, just be more natural.
That's great. Yes, I'm all for that. That's great because it's so much more relatable and it's so much more truthful. And that
Yeah.
energy is what is actually going to connect with somebody. And then whatever we say, if there's wisdom in there or there's activation or awakening, it's going to land because it's just real and beautiful.
I've gone back and forth between corporate marketing, or in online marketing world, where it's very entrepreneurial. And what I've just found is that online marketing has shifted so much, because I think that people have become so used to it, and they're smart, and they know when people aren't sharing authentically. They know when people, like, they know what a hook is. They know what, the marketing looks like now. Like, people are smart about marketing. So same things don't like work in the same way. So people are kind of forced to be more authentic.
Yes, well said. You're so articulate, and so many of your video posts on Instagram, you just really nail it. And I feel like you, in a very beautiful and gentle way, in a feminine way, cut straight through to the essence of that. Like, yeah, and even yeah, so that there's so much clarity in your messaging that really is wonderful as well and refreshing to see. It's just easier to digest. So
No,
yeah,
I
that's
appreciate
great.
that.
Yeah, so okay, so let's unpack, so we've got intuitive business strategist and we've got energetics and entrepreneurship. So with
Mhm.
intuitive business strategist, it's great. You're combining obviously then the feminine and the masculine. So the strategy is the masculine and then the intuition is the feminine, right?
Yeah.
And we need both
Yes.
essentially.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
'Cause I think they work together. I think that, speaking like, keep going with marketing, but there's so many marketing strategies out there, and you can like intuitively lean into like what's the one that really feels the most aligned to me, but then also how do I fill that marketing strategy, because there's always content, messaging, and all these things. And when you can really tap into what your higher self, what those deeper parts of yourself wants to say, you're really bringing, the gold
Mm.
forward.
That's beautiful. I love that and being intentional about it as well. So, but I feel like when we just cut through and we're more connected intuitively with ourselves, I feel like the
Yeah.
messaging just comes out. I just feel like it's more channeled and I just love being in that space. And when I'm in flow and I'm like that, everything has so much ease. And then when I find myself kind of getting stuck in my mind and forcing, it's just like counterproductive, really.
Yes. And
Yeah.
even like doing this for years, it's like I still, struggle with it where it's like, oh wait, there's my mind again.
Yeah.
Have we
Yeah.
really been doing this for 15 minutes?
Exactly. And it's the human brain, right? And it's our nervous system. And I was just tuning into the other day. Most of our thoughts are recycled every day, right? We wake up, and unless we consciously change and redirect our thoughts, they repeat, right?
hmm Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's been something I've been really like contemplating a lot, thinking about manifestation, where it's like we're just constantly manifesting the same person over and over again unless we decide not to.
Wow, that's
Unless
true.
we choose like a different identity. It's like the same, yeah, the same thoughts. They stick in there and
Yeah, and do you think that relates to frequency? Because I've heard you speak about your own unique frequency and vibration. Obviously, then it's like that law of attraction, isn't it? Like attracts like. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah, and I think because I think thought definitely has its own frequency. And then when we're more bringing that heart message forward, that has its own frequency. And I think when we can really tap into that part of ourselves, the heart chakra, that energy, it's just magnetic.
Oh my gosh. I'm so glad you just said that. That just it just really landed at a deeper level, because it's so we overcomplicate it, right? So if we can be grounded and in our hearts and still have our plan, our strategy, our intention, then that's all you need. Let everything else
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. It's all you need.
Yeah, great. Oh, so when people work with you, what is the main transformation that they're seeking, or what are their main challenges?
Kind of depends who I'm working with. I think the biggest thing is like really just getting people to stop looking at what other people are doing. It's so easy to, well, what is that person like? How did they, do their offers to flow into each other? And it's like, no, wait, just put the blinders on. Just ask yourself, just ask first, before you're like, just see what your heart has to say, see what your inner guidance has to say. And, like you were talking about, like the channeled, like what comes through before you kind of muddy it up with what other people are doing or what other people are saying.
Yeah.
I think especially with how AI is really coming on the scene, that just having a human voice and being more and more authentic is going to be more and more unique. So it's going to be its own little strategy and competitive advantage is just to be yourself.
Gosh, that's amazing. Like, yes, amen to all of that. That is great. Like, oh, yeah, chills. Love it. So when we're comparing ourselves to other people, right? Comparisonitis, it's
Uh-huh.
like it's hard. It's a habit that is hard to stop. And like, I mean, I still do it because I'm inspired by what I'm seeing. And then I'm like,
Yeah.
well, do I need that piece? Do I need that piece? But then it gets out of control because we can't be all the things and do all the things. We really do need to strip it back, because otherwise our messaging and our branding will get confusing, and a confused mind says no. So then there's going to be less sales conversions at the end of the day, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm.
Nailed it.
Thank
Yeah.
you. And
Yeah.
so, and then, so when, okay, so someone comes to work with you, and you get them, I guess, essentially plugged into their intuition and their heart straight away, or is that a process by firstly just having a look at the external, or do you start with the internal realm?
It kind of depends. I feel like I've been working with a lot of people who already had spiritual practices. So it kind of depends if somebody's like a spiritual entrepreneur or somebody who is like a real estate agent that's needing to tap more into that feminine energy and bring that forward in their business. So, um, yeah, it just kind of depends which kind of way they lean.
Yeah, great. Okay, yeah, because we're all unique and we all have different offerings, and yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Okay, and so coming back to yourself with your own sort of mission, vision, values, what really drives you?
I think it's really, I think the biggest thing is I see so many like just very beautiful souls that are limiting themselves. And I see just, I guess, like globally, there's this, best way to put this, like I feel like, especially spiritual entrepreneurs, like for example, this, like they have this really aversion to making money. And I feel that there's this programming within our society. It's like to keep us small. And like, of course, yeah, spiritual entrepreneurs, like that's bad. Don't touch that, because then that's going to give people with a voice with different ideas like power, you know? So I think it's really this larger idea of like freedom, like spiritual, how to put it,
Oh,
you know, just
yeah.
like this bringing that spirituality into the world in like a very like not dogmatic way, but that we're all like living as our spirits in this world, like in a really free way. Because I just see, you know, like within my own family and just people who are just so limited by their mindset, spiritual entrepreneurs that really struggle with money because of, you know, what we've been taught about money culturally, that that's like the biggest thing, that if I could change anything, you know, like let's break the doors open on that.
So, well, that's a really big point and really important,
Uh,
especially for women. And so, how would you help someone to heal their scarcity or reprogram any scarcity around money?
well, definitely doing, you know, just starting with, you know, basic manifestation like that, just the money mindset conversations that, you know, a lot of people are having online. I know that you do quite a bit of that work too. And just a little bit can go a long way, you know, like one little idea can like, oh, wait, like money isn't bad, because actually I can have a greater impact in the world, you know, just kind of flipping these things that, you know, our minds hold on to. And it's like, wait, no, actually, I can't accept this money, because then that helps me like build this school that I want to create, or this helps me have a greater impact in the world, and not seeing it as, you know, money is the end all, right? Because
Mm.
it's not.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. So I feel like a lot of it's subconscious, and
Yeah.
that's why we need to dive a bit deeper if we want to clear those limiting beliefs and blocks that are there hidden.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just even having the conversations to be like getting people in the door to do that work.
Yeah, because it's uncomfortable, right? And then it's confronting any of that deeper work, and where we're releasing those blocks and limiting beliefs. You have to sort of come face to face with it at one point, right? You can't bypass it or numb. I mean, that's the alternative. You either find a way through and you connect and you redirect or reprogram or reframe, or you avoid or numb.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So what's next for you? Like with your vision and the work you're doing, is is
Mhm.
is is there, you do this one-on-one mentorship, you've got
Mhm.
the audit. What's that?
That's just a 30-minute looking through like a content audit, just looking through like, you know, I don't really, because I can really feel like when people are sharing and I'm like, oh, there's something here that like the energy is not quite right, you know, or like, so it's just going through somebody's social or like an email, something like that. So I think that things are becoming very templatized, AI, and for somebody that wants to like bring more of themselves out into their content, like I can really intuit into it to like
Yeah.
what's hitting, what's not, you know, what's kind of like sounding like everybody. Like I can tell that you got this from somebody else.
Yeah, exactly. Because when you're in it, you can't see the wood from the trees. And on my own entrepreneurial journey, I don't want to always reinvent the wheel, or
Yes.
it's good to sometimes go, well, I can sort of use this as a guide, but still
Mhm.
bring in. I'm very ideas driven and visual, and so I always have a lot of ideas coming in. So my process has been actually to let go of some, or streamline, or just follow a thread without getting too distracted by all the other threads, which is,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah. And that's a good point. Like a template, like using it as inspiration, but not like as a template. Because
yeah,
there's definitely, yeah, not reinventing the wheel, because we all as entrepreneurs need, you know, those little time saving things when we can get them.
yeah. But there's so much scope to make it your own, right? And I think if you're your
Yeah.
own voice and you're connected to your heart and your truth, and you really showing up in that way, right? Which requires some self-acceptance, let's face it, and that's a journey of itself, because then there's the imposter syndrome, like, am I good enough? On some level, I'm sure a lot of people, even at high, like whatever level of success, or they can still have that imposter syndrome. So do you find that that's prevalent with some of your clients, or are they over that by now?
I think that everybody in the whole world has that at some level. And I think, even like going back to manifestation, like if you're trying to like be your next level, like stepping into those shoes, like you have to like kind of step up and lead yourself, and you're going to feel that. So it's like, I think if you're not feeling that, there's probably something off.
Yeah, okay, gotcha. Yeah, like that's funny, because this morning I was like, well, how would my highest self have breakfast? And I was like asking, it's like I was playing a little game with myself, and what would she do? How would she feel? What would she say? And it's like it's such a bizarre exercise to actually do, but it's so powerful. And I found like instantly changes how you interact with your environment and your relationships, because it's like being a little bit more conscious rather than just being on that Groundhog Day wheel, just repeating those habitual thoughts and patterns, which happens
Mm,
unless we pattern interrupt.
yeah, it's so important.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
great. Well, there's a few little tools and tricks. And so with your free lead magnet, Meet Your Inner Muse, I
Mm,
listened to that. And that was beautiful. It was just really
thank you.
powerful. So I really recommend everyone download that freebie and listen to it. And because it takes you within, and gets you out of your head and in your body, and then you feel more relaxed at the end. So whatever you do after that, you're going to be more productive and more effective. It's true, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a good one to do. And so do you have other versions of that you do as part of your own practice, or what's like a day in the life of when you get up in the morning, and do you get any time to yourself to kind of center and ground?
Yes, I try to. I have a 1 and a 2-year-old, so sometimes you never know when they're going to wake up, but I try to. I wake up at 5 so that I'm usually have a time to do that, like do my meditation, and then really like tuning in, doing some channeling work. And I think that freebie is really kind of like step one of that inner intuition channeling work that I've been developing for myself, working with other mentors for probably a decade. But
Yeah.
it's like that's like the first step, is just tuning into yourself. And
Yeah, definitely. And so who else inspires you along the way?
like mentors or like my family.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, and yeah, any mentors, or is anyone having conversations on podcasts that you're like, oh my gosh, this is what I need to hear, or this is going to help me with my clients?
The first one that comes to mind, I've like really been loving the Aubrey Marcus podcast. I don't know if you listened to that
Yeah,
one.
yeah. I've been tuning into
Yeah.
him lately. Yeah, cool.
I love him. I love all of his Matthias DeStefano stuff. It's so out of this world and
Mhm.
so um poignant. I love it. And that's kind
Great.
of been the my go-to lately.
Yeah. Okay. So that's great. Like, yeah, I feel like he's quite bold. He's quite brave. He just speaks his mind. So that's
Oh
really
yeah.
cool. Yeah, like that. Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh,
Very
great.
masculine, like, here I
Yeah.
am.
Yeah, I love how he's just in his masculine, and he doesn't need to apologize for that. Why should he? So
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's that energy, when we're in our healed masculine and our healed feminine, then that polarity, and that's within as well as in our relationships, right? That then
Mhm.
everything is just so much more functional and balanced. And really, this is one of the lessons for the world during these times, is that we are all connected. Nothing is separate. And that whole oneness as well, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Mhm.
good. And so what else
Mhm.
do you enjoy doing? Because you're at Lake Tahoe, are you?
Yes, I am a big skier. We just actually had a big snowstorm last night, so it's been a good day,
Oh,
a good day
wow.
for Lake Tahoe.
Oh, beautiful. Wow, that's great. And do you take your babies on the slopes and put them in little cute mini toboggans and things?
The older one, we've kind of got him in the little ropes, and He's so cute. He watched Peter Pan the other day, and so now everything is about flying and
Oh, that's so
like just
cute.
such a precious age. I just like try to soak up every little.
Oh, I know. Absolutely. Like you just got to pinch yourself and just enjoy those moments. And then, yeah, that's beautiful. What a blessing for you. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah. So before we go, is there anything else that is front of mind that you want to share or, a message to help people tune into their intuition a bit more and merge that business strategy with that?
Yeah. I would say, I think there's kind of a misconception with intuition that it's, really loud. Like you hear the Bible stories like Moses with the burning bush, and it's never come to me that way. And I was, not somebody who naturally was like, oh, I have this intuitive gift. It was something that I really developed over time. So I hear like a lot of people say like I can't meditate. It's like, well, it's something that you have to practice, and I think the same thing with intuition and being able to listen to your inner voice. It's you just have to practice. And there's a lot of people that are very gifted, and they see things and they're hearing things. And I think the more you practice that and just be silent and listen for those things, the more that you hear, and to just be patient with yourself. And um, there's a whole universe inside as there is outside. And I think the more that we can each explore that, the more beauty and richness we can create in this world. So
Oh, that is so
excited.
beautiful. That's so lovely. Thank you for sharing and thank you for speaking with me today.
Yeah, thank you for having me on.
You're welcome.